Let me tell you a way you can make at least $300,000 a year, and this is no joke. This is, I wouldn't necessarily call it so much a side hustle. It is a hustle and it's a side hustle, but it requires some corporate work. It doesn't require any qualifications, I must say. It requires you being consistent and following up. And I'm going to introduce you to some of the things that people are doing in government contracts. Each of these contracts can easily give you $75,000 a year per contract. When I say $75,000 a year, I'm not just talking about that's your entire salary. No, not at all. I'm saying you can have two, three, four, five of those contracts that you're running per year. Do the math. If you have $75,000 that you're making money from, that you're bringing in 75,000, multiply that by 3, multiply that by 4, multiply that by 5. Depends on how many of those contracts you want. And I did make a list here because although I am in the business, I am not doing these contracts that I'm going to name here. But and these are beginner friendly, guys. They're beginner friendly. So you can actually start looking into contracts like these. Let me say this. It is not, if you want to get these contracts, so I like the ones that happens in New York State. Now, for each states have their government website that have solicitations and bids where you can go and bid on. These are not federal contracts; these are state contracts. Now, what I'm saying to you, you can also do it federally. But right now, my focus is on city and state only. More so the city because it's local to you. So I begin with number one. There is a contract for community outreach survey by the Department of Transportation and City Planning. These are where they have you go out in the community and do survey. Believe it or not, when you see people out there in this doing survey, they're hired by the contract holder. That contract holder could be you, where you're paying someone at least $20 an hour. You're paying them a piece of the pie, but not all the pie, while you're keeping back most of it yourself. Your duty is to manage these contracts and make sure that they're executed in the way the government wants it to be. And there you go. That contract would be yours. And if you can go on and do so with so many other of these contracts, what are? There you have at least $500,000 a year. The other contract, some contracts are for family and youth mentorship workshop. Now, many of us are used to seeing people in the parks with kids. They're teaching them basketball, they're teaching them football, they're teaching them soccer, you name it. They're not picking up people's kids for free. It's a government contract that they have. Some of them have 2 and 3 in many different communities. And so these guys or women, they get paid for this. They actually get paid for doing so. This is not the government give them money to offer these programs. And so that's one of them that you could do. The third one I have is for senior citizen companionship and activity services. You have some elders that they're at home, they can't get things done for themselves. You can go grocery shopping from them. You can do all these little necessities that needs to get done that they can no longer do. You can keep their company. You can, so, and each of these, let's say a contract like this, the government, you may win a contract for what, $375,000 or up to $500,000, which you have to do over 5 or 4 years. Imagine that. If it's for 4 years, at 500,000, you'd be doing $125,000 for per year. 125,000, but the contract is for 5 years. Now you could pay out at least a good what, $30,000 off that, and the rest is yours to have someone do the job for you. But you have to monitor these jobs and monitor the contracts, because you're the contract holder, and if anything goes wrong, the blame is on you. So that's one of them. Number five, I would say, community cleaning and green maintenance. This is in the parks. You could go, they have contracts where people literally bid on contracts just to clean the parks. And there are companies that are big companies that are pushing for those contracts. And lo and behold, I want to let you know, you as the small guy, the one man band, the government wants to give you that contract, believe it or not. Or even as a woman, the government wants to give you that contract. They look out for people, not so much of the big companies, the big corporate guys who come in and get tons of those contracts. No, you the one individual who can submit that contract and get it, and work with the parks and have someone help you clean the parks, pick up the garbage. This is monies into this. And funny enough, if you see the type of contract holders, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, because there's each of those guys that lives out in the expensive neighborhood who are coming down to bid on these contracts, who sit from where they are, bid on these contracts, and hire someone to do it. But I'm telling you, you the individual who don't see yourself holding a contract like that, yeah, sorry to say, well, not sorry to say, let me say this to you to motivate you. Yes, you can get those contracts too. You can bid on those contracts and start seeking about them. And if you go, there are lots of groups that are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. There are people who are into these government contracts who are doing extremely well. So that's a door open for you. And that was number 5 that I told you. The number 6, emergency food distribution. COVID came and New York City still does that. New York City still does that. There's someone who drops off my tenant food packages ever so often. That's a contract out there. Someone's doing it. So while it may take some time to put things into perspective, understand this, is that the contracts that are out there are really contracts that you can make $300,000 to $500,000 a year. I am not in any of these categories, but I am in the same business. I'm in the same business. And this what I just named to you are they are beginner friendly. So you can look into that. It may take a little time for you to get something, but if you constantly bid at them and bid on them, if you constantly bid on them, you'll be able to win one of those contracts. The aim is to make sure you stick to the game and keep doing it. Keep bidding on them, because once you get one of those contracts, that's it. The gate is open for you. The gate is open for you once you get one of those contracts. Some people start this and they give up. Buy someone's course. There are people out there who are selling courses to do that. I don't think it's needed right now. Well, from my perspective, I would have given it in a detailed way as I go about myself. But I do find that when people sell these courses, they don't necessarily give you the training that they got themselves. There are some limitations to it. I have gone through courses that say, okay, you cut this whole part out of it, and which would have helped me more. But thankfully, I actually went through it myself. I didn't buy anyone's course regarding this. I went through it myself because I've had prior knowledge of every company that I've worked for. They are government contracts they get, and I didn't became aware of it until I left. I said, wait a minute, it's the same thing. I've been doing the same thing. So that $44 million contract that I was working on was from the government. How did you get it? Okay, you went to the project department and everybody worked on the bid there. I'm used to seeing those bid sheets, and but I've never submitted a bid. So this is how this gets done, and there goes, my eyes were open wide. Right now, as we're speaking, in the state of New York, if you go on each of those government contract websites, you're going to see that all of these community contracts that I'm telling you about, city contracts, they're there listed. There are due dates for them. They're there. People can look into it and make sure you make a business out of this. They're actually there. They're actually there. You can do this and be successful and lucrative at this. So again, this is Claudia. I'll come back to you with more. I just want to cut it here for now and catch you in my next video. Bye.